Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 41.
The Dirk Nowitzki pod.
There we go. The Dirk Nowitzki pod. Some other notable players. I've got an entire list. A lot of people actually wore 41. A lot of people in the 60s and 70s. So there's a lot of players I don't know. But we've got Jamichael Green, Costa Kufos, Bill Lambier, um, Jameer Nelson, Kelly Olynyk,
Bomb.
Garrett Temple, and that's about it. I know some of these other players, but they're so fucking horrible they're not even worth to mention. So, uh, episode 41 of the Crazy Shoes podcast. This week, me and Jared again. We have no friends. It is only us. Not a whole lot that I want to talk about this week, but there's a few things. First thing that I originally was coming into this podcast to talk about was the other night, might have been last night, the Golden State Warriors played the Raptors and they lost by 53. They lost by 53. At one point in the game, they were down by over 60 points. Jared, at one point in a basketball game, do you just forfeit? Or do you just let it get that bad?
I'm forfeiting, dude. If I'm in the NBA and it hits fucking halftime and I'm down 25, I'm chalking it.
25 at half, bro?
Bro,
You
I'd
can
be down
easy
so
come back
bad.
from that, bro.
You say easy, like you didn't get steamrolled the first two quarters.
Well, yeah, but like
Yeah.
halftime, you actually have like, stuff to prepare because you saw what was going on in the first half. There's
25 is a lot of points.
Yeah, but like 20-point runs are more common than a 60-point run.
60
Like,
point run is fucking impossible.
yeah, like you can go on a 20-point run without the other team scoring, just playing good basketball, and you could do it pretty quickly. 60 points is non-existent, bro. Like that's not
Like,
happening.
I mean, if you're down 30, bro, you're not doing a single thing right in this basketball game.
Yeah. The thing is, in those situations, you can bring it close towards the end of the game, but 60 points. You need the other team to not even be on the court. um, and I saw a lot of people saying on Twitter that this game is the biggest thing that adds to Steph Curry's MVP case because he didn't play.
And it's obvious.
Yeah, him and Draymond didn't play. If Draymond played, it would have been closer just because he holds the team together on defense. But it still would have been a blowout. But I think I saw that like the Warriors are 1-7 when Steph doesn't play, which isn't surprising. They definitely just need it. Having Clay back would win them games with Steph out, and it would also win them a lot more games with Steph there.
I mean, even when they had the team to fucking beat
They were
with
losing
Kevin
games
Durant and all that,
with Steph out.
yeah, their record was below 500 without Steph playing.
Yeah.
But with Steph playing, they were basically unbeatable.
Yeah. They had a better record without KD playing it, like during those seasons. They had a better record with KD gone versus with Steph gone.
Yeah.
So that just there's they're just a system, and Steph is the the one player it revolves around. So if he's not there, you're probably not gonna have a great chance to win the game. Um, a lot of people are dogging on James Wiseman for being a draft bust. I don't know why he's considered a draft bust, but he's definitely not. I think people want to consider him a bust because the Warriors aren't playing him that much.
I don't
I
know
don't
why
know
people
why they
think like
aren't.
people are bust or whatever, because literally like when the NBA like NFL bust topic comes up, it's always like, dude, you act like every single draft class that ever exists has to have some crazy like good top 10 player.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, everyone expects every single player to be amazing straight out of college.
I mean, even if you're not good, like, or like you're not an all-star, like it doesn't make you a bust to be a
Yeah,
starter in the
seriously.
NBA.
I don't understand it. Shit, what was that? I forget what I was gonna say. Um, like Joel Embiid or Jokic, they weren't great players when they came into the league. Joel Embiid was different because he had a shit ton of injuries,
Yeah,
but like Jokic was not good when he came into the league. He was fat as shit and couldn't do anything.
neither
And
was Giannis. Giannis wasn't good
and
either.
he was playing Jokic was playing on limited minutes. James Wiseman is playing on limited minutes. They're just not playing him. And the only assumption that I can make for why they're not playing him is cuz he's just not uh fit to the system yet. Like they haven't
Yeah,
he hasn't been there long enough to know what they're doing. And I'd imagine having Clay back would probably make his job a little bit easier. So he'd probably fit in better. But there's just some other things with that team that are just not the greatest. I saw let me bring up the tweet because I want to say it exactly. So Steph Curry's 3-point percentage is 41%. Kelly Oubre's layup percentage is 41.7%.
bums.
Kelly Oubre shoots like 70% from 0 to 3 feet away from the basket, but that includes dunks. If it's just straight layups, he shoots 41.7%. That is
Horrible.
insane. Um, Apparently, Steph's layup percentage is 61.4%, which is pretty good because I'd imagine he takes a lot of contested layups as well. Um, I just think that's wild, and that's just a horrible stat when you know your team is just not helping you very much. But as soon as people are tweeting about how Steph doesn't have any help, and all the motherfuckers come out of the cracks. LeBron didn't have any help, and he took his teams to the finals, bro. I don't know if you realize, but LeBron is 6'9", 240 pounds. Like
One of the best passers we've ever seen.
he's it's a whole different thing when you are a small forward that is that size versus a point guard at Steph Curry's size. Like you can't have a direct effect over the game as much as that. Like LeBron gets to the basket so fucking easy.
Yeah.
It's actually because he could just muscle anyone in the league. And he finishes insanely strong. Like you're not gonna stop him when he's going to the basket. Doesn't matter how many dribble moves Steph can do. If he's not getting a lane to the basket, he's not gonna get to the basket.
Yeah. Other than like Russell Westbrook, I mean, like we've never seen a player like 6'3" or under
That can get to the basket easy.
like dominate. Like when you think of best all around basketball players of all time, they are all like 6'6" or taller.
Yeah.
Like you don't ever sit here and think about
Mm-hmm.
anybody a guard that's like dominating the NBA.
Yeah. Um. I think we can just go ahead and move on because that's all I really wanted to talk about. There was they
I
really
mean, Steph is the
fucking.
greatest point guard ever, but
Bro, did you see that TikTok I sent you of the dude's top 10 all-time NBA players?
that
And
shit's whack, bro.
you have Magic Johnson at 2.
That dude had fucking Isaiah Thomas in his top 10.
Bro, I fucking he
He
got
had
it.
KD at 6.
It got to 9, and I saw Isaiah Thomas, and I went. And then I was like, wait, Magic is still on this list, and then he was at 2. So, based off his list, Steph Curry for us is the second best player of all time because he got to be better than Magic. All right. March Madness, the Final Four is over with. We now have our national championship game set. Gonzaga, Baylor. Who would have fucking thought? The two best teams in the country are the two teams in the national championship. The Baylor Houston game wasn't even a game; it was fucking blowout. But the Gonzaga UCLA game was insanely close. I believe Jalen Suggs sent it to overtime, and then in overtime, UCLA quick scored a layup, and then Jalen Suggs just took it straight down the court. It's pretty much from the half court logo, drained a 3 at the buzzer, and Gonzaga has the opportunity to go undefeated. So
They didn't deserve it.
you don't think so?
They did not. Well, I mean, they didn't deserve to win the game right there. Hell no.
Why? Because they were almost lost to an 11 seed. Is that why?
No, I'm just saying that game should have went to a double overtime.
Oh,
That was
okay.
the luckiest shit
Okay.
ever.
I mean, it was like he got a pretty clear shot. Like it's kind of wild that UCLA let him get a shot like that.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Foul him? What do you like? You can test him. You run the risk of fouling him.
Well, no one even attempted to get in front of him. He just got up. He got up closer to the basket than he should have.
Yeah, they should have just fucking trapped the shit out of him.
But yeah, they should have forced him to shoot at least at half court. Like he got like a step past the logo. Like
yeah, like
that,
one stride past the logo.
Yeah, that could be a straight up normal shot for people to take now, and that's
yeah.
They let him get that. I gotta look up the clip now. Hold on. Actually, I could just probably look it up on Twitter because I want to see if motherfuckers even attempted to stop him. Okay, that one his man stayed up, but he still dropped back way too far. Like the dude dribbled right up to him. Obviously every other player was down the court, but they had all 5 players. When Jalen Suggs hit half court, all 5 players were within like 2 to 3 steps from him, and none of them stepped up. I feel like in that situation, you have to expect Jalen Suggs to take that shot.
Yeah, there's literally a second left.
Like it doesn't. No, it doesn't even matter how much time was left. Like he would be the one to take the shot. You gotta step up on him.
Yeah.
And his man, he stops, but he still let him get up to the logo and shoot it.
I've
Um,
never been a huge fan of like the NCAA like March Madness shit because I think best of ones in basketball is whack.
yeah, best of ones kind of does. I mean, best of ones suck in everything.
I mean, like football, it's a little bit different because football is like a
Football makes sense because of how physically demanding the sport is.
yeah, and if you're the better team, most of the time you win in football. Like other than like the Vikings beating the Saints
Yeah.
or like the things that people look
Or
back
the
at and are
Rams
like those
beating
are
the Saints,
yeah
or a
like
lot of teams beating the Saints.
you look back on it and it's like those are like moments that are like iconic. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And they're iconic because they shouldn't have happened. And on top of that, it's because most of the time in football, the better team wins the game.
Yeah. Do you think it's what sport do you think it is? Do you think is hardest to win the championship in? Because a lot of people would say it's probably the NFL. I would have to say it's probably the NBA. Like people don't say it's the NBA because you have a lot of chances to make mistakes because you're playing a 7 game series, but you
Yeah,
also have to win 16 games to win the championship. Like you just have to win more. You're playing more games and you have to win more games.
yeah,
Whereas,
but in the case of basketball, also like if you are the better team, the likelihood that the worst team beats you 4 times out of 7
yeah,
would be unlikely. Like in football, I mean, like Tom Brady has 6 rings, and there was
7.
no yeah, Tom Brady has 7. The Patriots have 6.
Yeah.
It, like a lot of those Patriots teams were not that good.
Well, yeah, they were just straight up powerhouse defenses, and then they just had Tom Brady on the offense, so they were gonna
Yeah,
do something.
but like, I mean, in in football, you walk out on a fucking Super Bowl Sunday, and it's the one day your team isn't clicking, and guess what? You lose.
Yeah.
You go into the first round of the playoffs, your team ain't clicking. Guess what? You're out.
Hmm. Probably the hardest sport to win anything in is probably golf. Bro, you gotta be at the top of your game for 4 rounds. Dude, that is the hardest shit you'll ever fucking experience, bro. Anyone that wins the Masters is fucking insane to be able to golf that consistent. You have to be so consistent, it's crazy because there's so many other people in the field that are probably going to play more consistent than you. So, um, but yeah, if I'm being real, I'm not a huge fan of college basketball.
I'm not either. It's pretty whack.
Like I get into it in March Madness because that's mostly when everyone does. And I'll usually watch the first few days because those are when like the games are make or break your bracket. They're
the
usually
the
pretty
the
uh
13 seeds are playing and shit.
yeah,
Like,
like they're pretty entertaining games. Um, so I usually watch then, but when it gets later into the tournament, like I really don't watch them. Like I saw a bunch of people calling this UCLA Gonzaga game an instant classic. I'm gonna be real, I was sleeping. Like, I had no plans on watching it. Um, like I just college basketball is not very good. Some people say they
it's not.
prefer college basketball over professional basketball. I understand it in some cases, but like these motherfuckers miss a lot of shots.
It's the same thing with fucking football, dude. I don't understand how anybody could say they prefer college football over the NFL. Like, yeah, dude, I can't wait to watch the same quarterback all 4 quarters, every single play in the pistol formation.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, every single quarterback in college football is in the shotgun. They're at the
Yeah.
1 yard line and they're in shotgun.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Dude, in college basketball, everyone's argument is like, oh, they actually play defense. It looks like they play defense more than in the NBA.
It's because Steph Curry ain't out there
Yeah,
talking their
that.
shit.
In college, no one runs plays. No one is playing in a system. They literally just go out there and dribble the ball and see if they can get an open shot. And two, they just miss shots. they miss so many wide open shots. Like,
Well, they say they play defense like if somebody takes in college basketball, if somebody took a 3 pointer on the wing and the defender was even somewhat close to them, they say that that is them playing defense because the offensive player missed the shot. In the
yeah.
NBA, they're draining that shit.
Yeah.
like if you give them a whole 12 inches of space, they are dropping that.
Yeah. That's just the difference between collegiate athletes and professional athletes. Like I don't understand how that could be more entertaining than watching professionals.
You tell the best college basketball defender in the entire country to go one-on-one guard Kyrie Irving in an ISO. He's getting his shit absolutely fried.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Um but moving on. This we've been talking about how the next podcast will be a pretty special one, which it will be. I'm not going to talk about what the podcast is going to be, but next Saturday, so when we usually record the podcast, we are going to record the podcast on the same day, but we'll be streaming, doing a Pokemon pack opening straight from Japan.
Only sold in Japan.
Only sold in Japan.
Every single box says it.
Bought in Japan.
Pokemon Center.
Authentic. A shitload of packs. We've never done it before. And I'll be honest, I don't know if it's going to happen after it. Like if it's ever going to happen again. It would be cool, but Pokemon cards are
it wouldn't be a Japanese one.
Yeah. Pokemon cards are very expensive. Not so much in Japan though.
Yeah, not where I'm getting them.
Yeah, that's the thing is like if you are buying from someone else that got them from Japan, it's expensive because they're marking that shit up like crazy. But buying them straight in Japan, they're not that expensive.
Yeah, buying Japanese cards that are made in the same country,
yeah,
they're cheap.
And then finding cards in the U.S. is basically impossible because people just fucking scalp the shit out of them.
Mm-mm.
But if we ever have the opportunity to do it again, it would be sweet. But yeah, we'll be doing that on Saturday. Hold on, what day is it? That's the 10th. Yeah, the 10th. And then most likely we will have stuff left over, so we might be doing stuff on the 11th as well. That won't be the only thing we're doing in those streams. We have some other shit planned, but it's we've been talking about how the content's gonna be going crazy, and
it will be.
that kind of kicks it off is that whole stream. So hopefully it all goes well. Like I said, we haven't done it before, so I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go, but
how the setup is going to be and all that. But
yeah, we'll figure that out when the time comes. Um, the I should have said this at the start. I hate when I don't say this at the start. Uh, the stream highlights video should be coming out the day after this. I'll be putting it out on Tuesday. I kind of made that executive decision. I was like, let's not do it before the first podcast in April. Let's do it the day after. So stream highlights will be coming out day after this on Tuesday. This is a bit of a short podcast because we don't really have much to talk about. But next week should be a banger. So
yep.
You guys out for that. But we'll move on to the Chuck Klosterman hypothetical for this week. What was last week?
No, I don't remember.
It was
an easy one. I remember it being.
Oh,
easy.
it was the like job where you have to fly from New York to LA. Pass. Yeah, that shit was pretty bad. Okay. Oh Jesus God. Oh no.
Just a fire one?
No, this is just gonna show what goes on in our minds. This one is called Hired Assassin. You are a hired assassin. It was not your lifelong dream to become a hitman, but that is the vocation destiny has forced upon you. Killing these strangers bothers you deeply. Very often you are haunted by vivid dreams involving your victims. But you've also become somewhat accustomed to the experience. You have successfully murdered 10 people over the past 2 years. Your fee is $10,000 per murder. Knowing your reputation for ruthless efficiency, a member of the criminal underworld asks you to murder his enemy, who was also a known criminal. I really hate this guy, says your prospective employer. He has done terrible things to someone I love, so I want you to kill him. But I don't want you to simply assassinate him. I want you to make him pay. I want you to kill him in the most vicious, sinister way you can imagine. Be creative and merciless. And if you do this, I will pay you 25 times your normal fee. Assuming you are already a professional killer who lives outside of society's rules, would you accept these new conditions? And if so, how would you commit the murder?
Well, first off, I'd be like, yo, all right, dog. Like my contract is not to torture people; it's to put a bullet through their head. So
true.
I'm either putting a bullet through their head, and you're gonna give me my 10 racks, or it bets off.
Well, you don't necessarily have to torture them. You're just killing them in a way that would not be the best. So like
shoot them in the stomach or something,
or like burn them alive or some shit.
Dude, I'll put a bullet through their stomach.
But like if you accept it, you're getting $250,000 versus getting $10,000.
I'm already a trained killer. As long as I don't gotta do any crazy shit, I'll just take my sniper rifle, fucking intervention, Modern Warfare 2, cross that, straight into the leg or the hip or something.
I feel like in that sort of situation, you could literally just look up online what is the worst way to die, and then just like kill him like that. Like that's as easy as you can make it. Is just
or I just shoot him in the stomach and leave.
I mean, yeah, that works. I mean, I can't disagree with you. So, but are you sure they're gonna die?
I mean, maybe I'll aim a little bit higher then. I don't fucking know.
Well, no, you would just have to like lock him in a room or something. So
Yeah, I
then,
mean, I don't fucking know. Just, I mean, as long as there's no fucking ambulance rolling up, bro, he's bleeding out
do you
eventually.
think dying of starvation is like one of the worst ways to die?
I mean, probably, I guess. I mean, there's definitely worse ways.
Well, I don't even know how it would feel.
Well, you obviously get skinny as hell.
Yeah, but do you like what happens? Does your heart just stop working?
Well, your body starts to eat itself. So, like, every fat cell in your body right now would start to die off, would start to kill each other.
Yeah. So then what happens when you like die though? Like do you just
I mean,
like your
blood
breath
stops pumping.
you just
Like,
stop breathing like you just at some point, or like do
well,
you have
yeah,
a
your
heart
blood would
attack or
stop
something?
pumping, and then, like, I don't know, you would fucking, like, because your heart would stop beating, then your brain wouldn't have any blood. And then from then on, like, if your brain isn't functioning, then you can't breathe, you can't do anything.
Bro, since when have you been an anatomy major? Like you're
I mean, I don't know, dude. I guess I'm a certified assassin. I think I know how the working body works.
um see, I would look something up like that, but I don't want that in my search history. Like, I'm like, how does it feel to die from starvation? Like, that's
Mm.
I don't want to look at it. But I feel like that would be a pretty horrible way to die.
What, suffocate? Or, well, not suffocating. Suffocating was one of the ones on my mind. I was like, that'd be a horrible way to die.
Yeah,
But, I mean, the trio of drowning, burning, and suffocating are the three worst for sure.
I feel like starving is up there, bro. I feel like it's gotta be because it
well,
takes so long.
well, drowning would probably be like, if you had the choice between burning, suffocating, or drowning, I would choose drowning for sure. The second water gets into your lungs, you die.
Yeah,
Like, bro, you're suffocating. You're literally gasping for air. Nothing's coming in. Your eyes are bugging out of your head. You are literally panicking.
I don't even want to think about this, but like, I feel like you'd have to go with drowning, but like,
Yeah, because it'd be the quickest and probably the least painful.
yeah, none of them are quick though. That's the thing.
But drowning is the quickest.
Yeah. Just having that realization. Have you ever gotten the anything on your For You page from that one account that like explains how it feels to die certain ways?
I mean, I haven't had them in like a super long time, but I've seen them before.
Have you seen the one about how it would feel to die going headfirst into a wood chipper?
No.
Bro, the bitch that does these videos is like the most gruesome person ever. Like they describe it so horribly, and I saw that video and I was like, I am literally never going near a wood chipper again in my life.
I mean, you get, if you want to get like super specific, like a fucking skydiving accident,
Yeah.
like parachute doesn't open.
Any
Just
sort of falling.
You're just falling. You just know
Literally
you're
any
dead.
sort of falling. That just sucks. Any any sort of death that you can have like the realization
That it's happening.
it sucks. No way. Like that's just I don't even want to know.
Well, burning 100% would be the worst. No
That's
shot.
why like when people when people ask like that would you rather question of would you rather know when you die or how you die?
Much rather know when.
Yes. 100%.
No shot. No shot. If I know how. Like, imagine if the how was like get into a car accident. every
Yeah.
single time you ever get near a car or in a car,
You're not gonna
you're
want
like,
to drive. You're not gonna want to get
yeah,
into a car.
you're never gonna even want to be near one.
Yeah. Um, which the thing is, like, wouldn't you technically be able to escape death?
Like, what if you knew how?
Yeah, like if your how was you die in a car accident, what if you just never got in a car for the rest of your life?
Yeah, but what if like like car accident? What if that doesn't mean car on car? Like you die by a car.
Oh, so you're just
You know what I
sleeping one
mean?
night and the car just fucking flies through your window.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that's
I get
what
what
it
you
actually
mean.
meant, like you
Yeah.
literally would never want to go outside. Like you would never even want to walk toward the street.
Mm-hmm.
You would never even want to go toward a like in a driveway.
Yeah. Hmm.
But can you imagine if like you figured out how you were gonna die and it was like assassin snapped you in the head? Like you don't even know like when you wouldn't even
If
know
I'm
and
being
that it was
real,
ever coming.
like that's probably the best way for it to happen though.
Yeah, but dude,
You just never
like
know. And that's
you would never know when, and you would never know like in what situation you could be
yeah.
getting looked at
You'd be paranoid the entire time. That's
like
any
24/7.
situation where you know how you're gonna die, you're gonna be paranoid.
Yeah, I'd rather just know how or the day,
Unless they say you die of old age.
and then I'm good.
But like technically you're dying to something. Like when someone dies of old age, it's
Like
some
a heart
sort of
attack
organ
or
failure.
lack.
Yeah, it's some
Yeah,
sort of organ failure. So they would probably say that instead of
but
saying you die of old
let's
age.
just say you knew the day that you were gonna die, right?
Yeah.
And they were like you're gonna die March 6th, 2089,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I'm dying of old age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. God, bro. Fuck drowning. Like, God, I don't even want to be near water, bro. Literally. Um, wow. So, you said you're just shooting someone in the stomach?
I mean, yeah, I'd like have to shoot him in the stomach and like I guess take him somewhere and fucking. I mean, bleeding out, probably wouldn't take that long, but
Mm.
you'd have to take him somewhere so nobody would find him.
I just throw someone in a locked room.
And just let him starve.
Yeah, I'd give them water so they don't die of dehydration. They gotta die from starvation. Isn't it? You can go 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on how fat you are and shit, but
That's a long ass time, bro. That's a long ass time.
I mean, yeah, but you got to think like, like if you go 24 whole ass hours without anything to drink, your body will be fucking bugging out, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would give them water, but the food, no, you're not getting any
No,
food,
bro,
bro.
but I mean, dehydration might be fucking crazy though.
You'd probably start hallucinating, like
Like, bro, you'd be down horrendous, bro. You'd be down so bad. It'd be
I feel it.
like you said, 3 days, but imagine that 48-hour mark of
Yeah,
no liquid in your body whatsoever.
I feel like if you, I feel like you could go more than 3 days without drinking something. I don't want to test it, but
I'll do it tomorrow.
but I feel like you could. So you have like liquid in your body,
Yeah, but that's
so
all you have though. So
yeah, I feel like
your
you
body,
could go 4 days.
your body just uses that for 4 days, and then once it
Yeah,
runs out,
yeah.
it's
You just can't piss. Just
fucked.
keep it inside you. Right?
You just hold in the need to piss for like 4 days.
I feel like you die from that before you die from
Yeah,
dehydration.
but your bladder would literally just explode.
Oh my god. Wow. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm definitely shooting him somewhere where he would bleed out quickly, but I know it wouldn't kill
Yeah.
him. Shoot him in
Hold
the
on,
shoulder
hold on.
and rip his arm off.
I feel like you could go longer than 3 days without water, but I feel like you couldn't go 3 weeks without food. If you get what I mean. 3 weeks. I don't think people like understand 3 weeks is a long ass time.
I mean, Andrew one time went 3 days without food, without like anything to eat,
Bro, I could never.
and that was like horrible.
I feel like I would have a tough time going 24 hours.
Just nothing to eat.
Yeah, like that fucking blows. That might be just because of my size, but like that just seems horrible. 3 weeks, bro? That seems impossible. Like it's gotta.
I feel like 3 days is when the process, like once you go like 3 4 days, I feel like that's the process of your body starts to eat itself away,
Yeah.
and then because of that, like I'm not like there's no way your body just sits there and eats itself over and over for 3 days after that, like 3 days straight, it's just eating itself and you're still alive. There's no
Yeah.
way. I guess also your muscle would go. I guess it would like I don't know if it would eat your muscle away also.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what holds it. Maybe that's what maybe that's what the real time length is that your muscle gets eaten away.
Bro, this podcast went a whole different direction after this fucking hypothetical, bro. This man
At
Chuck
least it's a good one.
Klosterman. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Can you imagine how short this podcast would be if it was, hey, you have to work a job, but you have to fly from New York to LA.
Yeah, true.
We'd be like, oh, no, we wouldn't. And then the podcast would end.
Yeah. Um, but I think that's gonna do it for this week. Like I said, next week special podcast on Saturday, live stream, as well
Special
as probably
stream.
Sunday. Yes, very special stream. Um, the stream highlights for March on the day after this podcast on Tuesday. Um, our socials are up on the screen. Look at that. We're too good at it now. I mean, I've never been bad at it because I can just look and see.
All it is, I know, literally, I figured out like day one, all it is it's my right hand.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is. So every single time you say that, I don't look at the
Hmm.
webcam. I just raise my right hand and point
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. um. Yeah. Our socials are up on the screen, also down in the description, as well as everyone else, Creative Shooters. Also, all Creative Shooters socials are linked below. At Creative Shooters on Instagram, at Creative Shoot on Twitter because they don't give us enough characters. At Creative Shooters on TikTok. Twitch.tv/Creative Shooters. CreativeShooters.com. What else? You're watching this on the YouTube channel? Fucking subscribe. Fucking watch the GeoGuessr video from October. It's almost at 100 views. Just go watch it. Even if you've already watched it, just go watch it again. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. You have anything else to send us off on?
I mean, then just put those notifications on every single platform that you just named.
Holy shit.
Don't ever miss the bangers.
Bro, that would be. My phone would be blown up just because
Could you, could you imagine how tragic it would be? Like you're missing courageous shooter pose.
Wow. I
That's
could.
literally
Dude,
tragic, bro.
that really is. That might be worse than starvation.
That might be worse than getting an assassin hired on you
Yeah.
to kill you.
Like what would you rather have happen? You miss content from the creative shooters, or an assassin is hired to kill you in the most gruesome way possible?
I think I'd rather just burn, to be honest.
Yeah, like wow. That's that's such an easy decision to me. Like I would never want to miss a creative shooters notification.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow. So make sure you turn those on. Uh,
Or else you're gonna burn to death.
yeah. Jesus. Other than that, I got nothing else to say. So thanks for
Neither do I.
watching.
I think I already said everything I needed to.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Dirk Nowitzki pod.